Okay. I think everything's on. Alright. Hey, what's up guys? Chillax, welcome back to more Kagetsu Tohya. Last time we did day 30 and 31. And we, Shiki got cooked. He, tried to go out of town, realized, oh shit, this shit is half-baked, and then got murdered. Also, hey, Meridak. Am I saying that right? I assume it's meant to be read as like Dak and not Datch or anything, right? I assume. I don't know if I've been calling you the wrong thing. But yeah, anyway. Got my audio turned down, so we're good there. And yeah, let's begin with day 32. Kagetsu Tohya production notes. The scenario director's room didn't have an AC. That's not good. It was hot, yeah. I'm sure. Alright, start game, Twilight Grass Moon, a day. Okay. Magus Dream 2, would you like to skip? Yeah. Morning of beginning, what do I do today? Yeah, skip. And we want to stay in the mansion. Morning, a day at the mansion, would you like to skip? Yes. Breakfast 2, each one's tasting wine, skip. Choices, and we want go out because the mansion is boring. Big mood. Mansion in the streets, what to do? Skip. And yeah, this the one issue with the way this game is set up, and I guess how Hollow Ataraxia too, is you kind of have to just skip a bunch of stuff till you get to where you want. Also, we're going to Jinan's hospital. So I guess we're finally meeting the doctor, huh? Dr. Jinan? Or Jinan? Meaning at the Sogen Hospital? Yeah, I suppose. I'm not feeling that bad, so I don't really have to force myself, though. I was told to visit in the near future. Tokei-san probably said that to me. Alright. Since I have nothing else to do, I guess I'll go visit. Oh, so just a little, like, clinic, not like a full hospital, I guess. 30 minutes of swaying the bus. Or maybe this is just the, I arrive at a building that looks nothing like a hospital. Well, this is a private home converted to the needs of a small clinic designed to serve only a select few. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. It has a pharmacy-like sign, but not many people come looking for that kind of service. So I suppose it really can't be called a hospital. Yeah, I guess not. The Jinans have been serving the Tono family exclusively, so I guess there aren't any other patients. Damn, the Tonos must pay them good if they're the only patients. Like, there ain't no way. It's Tono. Is Mr. Sogen doing okay? I speak through the intercom. An unfamiliar housemaid lets me in. Now that they have to at least serve... branch families as well. He's not... This is not what I expected him to look like. Yeah, no, that's not what I expected. Oh, you came, kid. I waited a few minutes in the examination room. Sogen appears in a parallel that cannot be or why am I reading that as parallel? Okay, appears in an apparel that cannot be a doctor's. Yes. Tokei-san asked me to come, so I couldn't refuse. I was hoping last month's meeting would be the last. What? That's what I want to say. I don't want to see such an annoying and stubborn patient as you. But since I know your parents, I can't abandon you so easily. Well, thanks, I guess. With that, Jinan Sogen sits in front of me. It's been many years since I started going through this, so I know what to do without even without further instructions. I take off my shirt. Your body's pretty good nowadays. Okay, sure, thanks. Yeah, thanks to you, I'm very healthy. Don't be ridiculous. If you're healthy, then this hospital would be full of dead people. Okay, true, I suppose. Don't boast with such a flimsy body. With that, he examines my armpits and back. Wah! That hurt really badly just now, you charlatan. Of course. I'm fixing your badly taken care of body in one hit. There won't be any gratitude if there's no pain. Okay, sure. Why do I have to come to a doctor to get more... Whoa. Idiot. I'm the one going through hell. Are you? It doesn't make me happy to be touching a boy's body. Crunch, crunch, my bones continue the symphony. Yikes. What did you do now? He takes longer than usual to... Oh, that was him, okay. He takes longer than usual to examine my body and says that with a complicated face. Eh? What do you mean, what? Nothing in particular. Your body screams otherwise. Your body can take lots of idiotic stuff, but it can't recover. If you stress it too much, then the dam will blow and the water will drown you in a torrent. Are you saying I shouldn't exercise? Normal exercise is different. What I'm talking about is more extreme stuff. Oh, like fighting a murderer in the street at, 11 p.m. at night? Yeah, I suppose that's fair. But I guess you can't really avoid it if you're trying to avoid something else. Slam! He hits my back once more to signal the end. This is it? Don't you do x-rays and blood tests usually? Ha! Inside your body's pretty normal. Be thankful to the lady. She understands your body well. Maybe it's because of your new surroundings, but your body's better than it was at Arima's. Okay. I'd be thankful to Kohaku-san even if you didn't say that. I mean, you never really show it, so... She's more reliable than a certain charlatan. Maybe don't insult your doctor. I mean, well, I guess to be fair, they probably have a very close relationship, so I guess it probably doesn't upset him, so... I actually hope that Kohaku-san becomes my personal doctor. I don't know if Kohaku would even agree to that, well, I mean, maybe. She's probably over the Makihisa stuff at this point. Possibly. You rebel. A little kid like you can't take a lady like her. Well, I mean, technically he has taken her a few ways at this point in time. But that's, yeah. And you'll be raised an idiot and will actually become an idiot. Himph. He puts on a mean face. Maybe he and my father didn't get along too well. Your body's fine. If you have the time to get an acupuncture... If you have time, get an acupuncture by Tokie. I don't know if it's supposed to be Toki or Tokie. I don't know. The charlatan gets up after ending the examination. Wait, Dr. Jinan. There's something I want to ask you. What is it? It's really an idiotic story, but... And I explain the happenings of the last few days. Why would we tell this to the doctor of all people? Why would we not mention it to, like, CL or Arkwit or literally anyone else? But okay. How I can't remember yesterday. How I feel like I've done the same thing yesterday. The sense of danger that I'm repeating the same day over and over. I guess outsiders, like, unbiased perspective, perhaps? I don't know. After listening to the end, Jinan Sogen falls pensive. I understand. I thought it was getting worse every year. But now even you have Alzheimer's. Medical, yeah, okay, I guess it's fair. Medical concerns, yeah. But like, even you have Alzheimer's, kid? Cancel what I just said. It was idiotic of me to consult a charlatan. True. Very true. I get up to leave. Wait. The brain's not my specialty, so I can't give you a definite answer. But there is something about your story. Oh, does he notice it too? I stop my footsteps. Something? Yes. Let's talk about this sense of danger first. Well, like I said, I'm not a brain specialist, so I can't see what's protected by bones. Is that so? I think you can't even see below the skin. Can't he now? Don't kid around. Anyway, my idea is that isn't it wrong to think yesterday is the same as today? In normal situations, perhaps. Wrong? Because you can't remember yesterday. Then how can you realize today is the same as yesterday? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. And you're not entirely wrong, but... well... actually... it doesn't make sense. Following your logic, tomorrow will be the same as today. Do you understand? You messed up from the beginning. After opening your eyes, you forget everything and mistakenly think that yesterday is the same as today. Oh, so just don't open our eyes. Got it. Makes sense. No, that's... but... it's not something that can be concluded so simply. Because I think I did something like this before. Well, if your mistake isn't a mistake, then there's only one answer. In your brain, today, tomorrow, yesterday, are all the same. What does that mean? You're slow, kid. I mean that today is your everything. You are born as you open your eyes and die as you close them. Well, you could say you're reviving infinitely. Then past, present, future would be no more. Because everything will be in your today. Then what about the people related to me? Do you also die when night comes? Idiot. I told you it's all in your head. Everyone else has a tomorrow. The only person repeating is you. Tokie, little lady, and I are already gone tomorrow. Are already gone tomorrow. The only one left is you. The people you meet are people who resent... no. Real people who are just playing a role in a skit. Alright. Makes sense. The story isn't convincing. Isn't it, though? It does kind of make a weird amount of sense. Maybe that's just me, but... I don't know. But there's so many things that seem it's a lie! Oh, is that him or is that us? I don't... Did you believe it, you doke? That's him. Uh-huh. That can't be it. As evidence, Tokie and I are just like you too. What do I have to hide? Honestly, I don't really remember yesterday either. Okay. So if you've been having these concerning happenings as well, why did you bullshit? Okay, you know what? Whatever. He guffaws. Perverted monster grandpa. That's to say, I think you came here yesterday too, but Tokie insists that you didn't. We argued about that yesterday. So it's not only you who's abnormal. Hey, charlatan. I've really felt the urge to kill. Humph. Now your eyes are worth something. Wait, he knows about that? Oh. Okay. Interesting. But anyway, what I just said might not be all incorrect. I imagine just because this is like a dream world, and so because he's part of Shiki's dream, he knows, but the actual him probably doesn't. After hearing you bring it up, I remembered as well. If you think about it that way, then you may be special. What's that? You never even thought of it? Really? I didn't consider it as big a problem as you did. You really resemble your father a lot. Yeah, I know, but the thing is, like, Akiha didn't know about his eyes, did she? Or am I misremembering? I could have sworn the only one... Yeah, I'm pretty sure no one knew. Aside from... Aoko. Because she's the one who told him about it. Because I thought it took Akiha off guard when she found out about it. Actually, I don't even remember them talking about it at all in like Akiha's route, at least. I don't know. I guess maybe I mean, I suppose it's possible he disclosed it to his doctor without telling the family? I guess? I don't know. I didn't consider it as big a problem as you did. You really resemble your father a lot. Maybe we just can't see it. Unless you're saying he was the Nanaya's family doctor as well. No, that wouldn't make sense. Something that should not be visible to humans is visible. That phrase. I'm sure I heard it somewhere. Dr. Jinan, does that mean that Akiha is the same as me? Like Tono's? No. No, the one I'm talking about. Oh, okay, so he knew the Nanai. Okay. The one I'm talking about isn't Makihisa. I'm talking about that idiot Nanaya Kiri. So he treated the Nanayas and the Tonos, even though they're... Oh, okay. That doesn't really make a lot of sense, though. Unless the Nanayas and Tonos weren't always... I mean, I don't know. I'm talking about that idiot Nanaya Kiri. Kiri? What's with that name? I feel as if it's been engraved in me, even though I've never heard it while growing up. He could also see things that should not have been seen. His eyes were special too. He could vaguely see other people's feelings and thoughts, but I don't think it helped him much. Well, still, he was the head of the Nanaya family and thus a great user of... Is he dead? Shiki, you know this already. He was hated like a poisonous snake by those who inverted. But Kiri was a human specialist. He was invincible against those of mixed blood. He didn't get along well with those who aren't fundamentally human. But hating monsters is an exorcist's job. In other words, Nanaya was only called when there was something awfully off. Well, so he probably thought brought hatred of others upon himself. Nowadays, it's worse to be hated by others than it is to be cursed by a monster. Narad willfully died to avoid the meteor, but by that time he was covered in blood. Who? Not what? In essence, he got blood on himself from other people's hands. Strange. Why do I feel nauseous hearing about a person who's a complete stranger to me? I don't know. Is that it? Then I bid you farewell. It's Chinese mythology? Okay. Yeah, outside of Greek and Roman, I don't really know much about mythology. And even then, I'm not as brushed up on Greek and Roman as I could be. Okay. But why did I bring up Kiri? I was going to take her to the grave with me. Well, we'll probably forget anyway. He frowns. What? Do you have Alzheimer's? You are quite old. Shut up. I'll live longer than you. Ah, I can't refute that. No, I think this grandpa can outlive his own grandson. Okay. I very much doubt that, to be honest. He would have to live to be like 200 if that was the case. Unless his grandson ends up living a very short life. But, well, then I'll come back later. When you do, bring a more plausible story. Fair enough. Fair enough. Streets knew what to do. Skippity-skippity-doo-dah. And stay out a little longer. And it didn't give us a choice to skip this, so something's different. I eat my lunch on the bench. Holiday morning. The park is lively with a diverse group of people. Parents with their children. Couples that pass by. The boys laughing as they head towards the grass field. There could not be a more peaceful moment. The blue sky is unfathomably deep, and the pouring sunlight is unbelievably clean. But even then, I cannot naturally accept them. Damn it. If I'm alone like this, something comes up in my mind. Loneliness without reason. The feeling that the long-awaited festival day is finally here. The feeling that I'm hiding my sense of foreboding change. And Father's death. The death of the one who promised to take me to the festival, leaving me to look at the fireworks of the festival from afar. My chest hurts. It's someone else's scent that feels so familiar, but it's still someone else's. Even though I understand it, I can't do anything to alleviate it. I wonder, could this be loneliness too? Maybe. So who is it that's feeling lonely? I mutter as I stand up. Well, I've had my fill of the sun. Maybe I'll go somewhere else. Okay, we want to go to the intersection. Okay, it didn't give us a choice to skip. Oh, are we gonna have another flashback again? to the real world. I guess not really a flashback, but like a glimpse. I go to the intersection. Even though it's day, there aren't that many cars, and people are rare too. Then what should I do now? I dumbly stay without anywhere to go. After standing there for a while, I notice a familiar dump truck coming into my view. Like, oh. I just realized what that means. It feels like it'll break suddenly. And as I irresponsibly say such a worthless thing. Right when it passes me, the brakes of the dump truck squeal and it slides forward. That just now. Wait. Hold on. Definitely a while ago. Before I can think about what's just happened. It's dangerous, my body tells me. Right. That can be only one thing. The thing I'm forgetting in this world. Okay, it's okay. Sure, game. Yeah, just I guess the rest of that would be what I'm forgetting in this world. The reason why I'm in this world. I move on to the intersection. Even though it's evening, there aren't that many cars, and even people are rare. Then what should I do from now on? Without a destination, I just stand there. As I dumbly stare at the street, a strangely familiar not again. A strangely familiar dump truck comes into my view. Well, it's almost dinner time. I'll go back to the mansion. Yeah, you do that. As I make my decision, the dump truck makes a noise of emitting gases and passes by me. Streets returning home right before. Don't skip. I don't entirely. Oh, wait, no, it's just the scene. Never mind. I climb up the hill. There's still a little time before dinner, so I'll go to my room to rest a bit. Yeah, I just don't entirely remember some of the... Yeah. Alright, skip. And we will... eat dinner at the mansion. Scenes mansion dinner, would you like to skip? Yeah, nah. Let's have... I think this is just the one where it's awkward. And so dinner comes. In the big... Yeah. Standing behind us, wordlessly waiting for orders. The night and the luxurious dinner forced me to mind my manners. Akiha and I don't recognize each other at the table, so all through the dinner we eat without a word. And soon our dinner ends as usual. Mansion after dinner 2, Trump battle. Yeah, this is just a card game. No, I meant... Why did I click that? I meant to hit skip. I don't know why I clicked that. Fast forward the next choice. I meant to move my hand up a little bit more and press skip, but I just... For some reason my hand didn't move and I pressed... Yeah. Okay. Come on. Give me to the choice. Yeah, and then she gets upset that they were, colluding. And then's pissed that we didn't tell her that we knew they were colluding. And yada yada yada. Okay. Night choices, skip, and then we want to... Vision of the ends of the world. Another repetition? I mutter between my dream and reality. If I wake up tomorrow, I'll forget that it was all an act and greet the morning as usual. Unchanging days. A garden of models one cannot escape. Never ending. Never ending? No, that's not it. Hang on. There we go. Actually, is that too high? How can this be? I pride myself that during this, at least, I know the truth. There's an end. There's definitely an end. How foolish. Even though I recognized the end of the world, I expected this imagination to continue on forever. Whatever it may be, if I'm in another reality, there's supposed to be an end to it. The end of this world or something. I then think that it may be like a cancer cell. How? Shiki, what are you on? What are you on about? A black spot that multiplies on. I don't know about any destruction that would sink the world, but if it were to exist, this world will slowly die and reach its end. Then, this repetition of days will end as well. Definitely, after that will be the usual, but non-repeating normal days. But something about that bothers me. Something's different. I'm recognizing that something's amiss. Maybe that's why I can't remember yesterday. Or something. I slip out of my bed and go out. Shiki, where you going, man? This isn't what we chose. I expected the child to come bother me. Unexpectedly, getting out was easy. That child. Who's that child? Blank doesn't seem to want to scold me into realizing the truth of this act. I go out into the main road. The nocturnal street is as quiet as ever. I walk the shadow world. We're having flashbacks of all the good times we've had in this dream so far. Step. Looks like it. Step. Oh, wee sweet, my best girl. Step. Crimson Princess Arkwit. Okay. And then Len. Step. With each step, I imagine the tomorrow which I shouldn't know about. Am I going back into the past? Or am I remembering the incident involving the question about presence or the lack thereof? I don't know, man. Either way, there's no mistake that the future, laden with footsteps, is coming. I needn't be afraid and go on. The moon is out. I arrive at the empty station and sneak in. Shiki, where we going? As I jump off the platform into the lanes. Are you trying to get hit by a train? I take off my glasses? The world around this place dies. My footsteps sink. It's too late when I realize it. My body is sunken to the waist. The only thing left is perishing with the place around me. Gah! Resisting death like the many times I've done before, I take off my glasses. Right. I'll take off, but you already took them off. Why did I forget something so closely related to me? Eyes that can see the death of things. That is the defining trademark of Tonoshiki. The fact that I subconsciously forgot about it is the world's biggest danger. That child probably took care that I didn't see death. Because I, who can see death, am the only one who can see backstage. the decay continues. If the decay is a precursor of destruction, then it's one type of death. Then maybe I'll be able to see it. The truth of this matter. The thing that can end this ambiguous day. In other words, the one going around destroying the world. But why is he destroying the world, though? Is the question. The truth of the one hiding in the shadows. Was it indeed you? The guy doesn't respond. Of course. He's laconic like a stone. And furthermore, not one to speak to me who will disappear in a few seconds. Damn it. Is this the end? Waist to neck. And now the face is sinking. If this is death, then there's no avoiding it. The last moment. Now that I think about it, why did I think that he is the shadow of death? I don't know, man. Don't ask me. Repeat again. So... is he... okay, with the doctor having brought up Shiki's birth father, right? Nanaya Kiri. It makes me wonder, is that him? Like a shadow version in Shiki's subconscious? Maybe? He's called Kishima. True. And I'm just thinking that could have been like a nickname, but I guess not. So I don't know. I guess I guess I'll find out as I keep going, I suppose. Type Moon Daily Message, love. Okay, start game. Oh yeah, I can do the... Which one was it? I think it was... No, Dawn is... Hang on. Red Demon God. Okay. So this one is the one that has story relevance, I suppose. Alright. Yeah, I guess let's do it then. Red Demon God. Hey, let me tell you an old story. Red Demon God. Alright, lay it on me. Prologue. Oh. For a split second, there was a dull yet smooth sound. I guess we're just jumping straight into combat. The man died by getting his neck crushed from the front. It wasn't an instant death, but a painful death which takes a few seconds after receiving the fatal wound. Even so, the man can never see the figure of the attacker. In the few seconds until he died, the only thing he was thinking was to let the others know that there was an attacker. Another smooth sound. Right next to the man, the other guard who was literally an arm's length from him died similarly as well. What a bad dream, the man thought. If there were any intruders in their area, they wouldn't even let a rat pass through. And now he was dying without even noticing the death of his partner. This can only be a dream. But this was reality. It wasn't the work of a human. It could have been a familiar that is skilled in hiding its presence, or the work of a demon unknown to him. The pupil enlarged. The camera called the eyeball caught the figure of the assailant before it lost its function. That was clearly smiling. The figure was a human. The presence and smell was no different from a normal human either. In his hands, he was carrying something that looks like a drumstick. The man was surprised that his neck was crushed by such a thing, and he was surprised even more by the fact that the assailant was really just a human. The assailant walked on quietly. Another smooth sound. The guards in the other areas died just like them. It's a terrible dream, the man thought. Without any presence or reek of murder. An ordinary human who does not have any mixed blood was crushing through the tight defenses of the inhuman bloodlines. I was gonna ask a question, but I'll see if the game tells me. I see. The man was convinced in his disappearing consciousness. That is our enemy this time. The taboo within the hybrids, the head of the Nanayas who's said to be a demon god. Okay. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask if this is referring to Kiri or Kishima. That is, but yes, yeah, like 2 lines later, yeah, he answered. Game answered. That assailant's name was Nanaya Kiri. Half an hour had passed since the assault began. Kiri had already taken care of all the guards outside the mansion, and now he only needed to assassinate his target within. There were 20 men outside the mansion. That was more than what Kiri was told. 20, wow. It's an excessive murder, Kiri laughed. It was an innocent laugh, like a child's. That's disturbing. Maybe that's just me, though. Killing was the profession of the young man called Nanaya Kiri. To put it simply, an assassin. And it was an assassin with a history that's going back generations. No doubt, in the past or present, and hopefully in the future, such a job title should not be allowed. Because it's not allowed. Such things should not exist. That's why the Nanaya family had been living in the shadow of shadows, in the darker dark. No, the reason why they had to hide in the shadows is not because of their job, but it had to be their bloodline. There's a thing called a demon. Yeah. Even though it exists within the rule of nature, here is a power that isn't needed because it is said to disrupt its flow. Okay. There are many types of them, but they will all disappear, or they will all appear evil for someone who is within the straight flow. A demon is a disruption, and demon hunters are a gathering of those who fix the disruption. But disruption isn't of a single type. The demon hunters fix disruptions within nature, but can't fix the disruptions within humans, I should say. For example, there's a type of demon called the ogre. This is a type that isn't in the straight flow from the beginning, and clearly a genuine demon. The demon hunters are fit to banish them, but it's a different story when these ogres mix with humans. Because the demon hunters are an organization in the lawful spell branch, created by humans to protect the human society. They're not supposed to hurt humans. For that reason, they will have a difficult time against a mix of demon and human. A long time ago, there are many who wished to become hybrids with the demons, who are greater beings, and as a result, a few of them made that possible. Using the power of the demons even as a human, they sometimes help the demon hunters, but sometimes they become their worst enemies. That ratio is very fragile. The hybrids who place themselves with the demon hunters and the hybrids who oppose the demon hunters hate each other, and they continue to fight below the surface. Of course, the demon hunters oppose the hybrids as well. But as a general principle, demon hunters are those who fix the disruption. Demons are disruptions just by existing, so they banish them right away. But demon-human hybrids are not a disruption. Okay, yeah, I get that. In order for a hybrid to be considered a disruption, the demon blood needs to become thicker than the human blood. These demon hybrids who can't maintain the human side anymore are seen as being out of alignment, and the demon hunters finally see them as their target. However, when the hybrids go out of alignment, they become the worst enemy for the demon hunters. Because they have a human side, binding spells won't work on them, and because they have the alien power of the demons, it's impossible to stand up against them with the body of a human. Okay. In the past, when weapons were undeveloped, killing them meant many casualties. However, there was a special case. Psychic ability. Even though the demons and the demon hunters oppose each other, their powers actually originate from the same place. Therefore, there is a common rule between them and they have a fair fight within its bounds. But rarely, there are ones who are outside of the rule. Those are the alien powers called psychic abilities, and the psychics. They don't follow the rules of demons and carry inhuman powers as pure humans. Some say that this is... Goddamn, okay, so much dialogue. Hang on, I gotta drink water. Okay. Some say that this is a suppressing power that was born from the unconsciousness of mankind. The targets of the suppression are, no doubt, ones who are a threat to the humans. They're who are the highest primates. People who achieve these abilities don't need to study an out-of-date technology like sorcery. Ignoring the principle of yin and yang, the interaction with nature, psychic ability is an extreme power achieved by the human race, who became detached from nature. Without interacting with nature like demons, they have superhuman power while still being humans. They're just like the hybrids, but instead of borrowing power from alien blood, they are humans born with special abilities. Because their advanced abilities, they end a single generation after an accidental appearance. Commonly called the psychics, they are the bane of the demon hybrids. To put it simply, the Nanaya clan is a special case of them. But note, psychics are not stronger than demons. It's impossible for them to stand against them. But didn't you... Okay. The psychic ability is just a small needle that doesn't follow the rules of the yin and yang. Those abilities and effects are extremely small compared to the interaction with nature of the demons and demon hunters, and there is no way a psychic is able to fight them alone. Okay. But still, a power outside the rule can be a threat to those who live inside the rule. The demon hunters hide their existence in the beginning and use them to catch the hybrids off guard by having them appear in the middle of the battle. It's kind of like saying a psychic's support is a stone that's thrown between two people glaring at each other. Okay. I guess it's a reasonable analogy. The psychics used their unusual abilities to just once create a decisive opening in their opponent. That's how demon hunters use the psychics, and even for the hybrids, they're just a bothersome, unpredictable factor. Yes, there's not a chance in a million in this world that such a thing as psychic ability, which is only the power of a human, can defeat a demon that is nature. However, here was the 1 in a million demon god. Since the ancient times, the Nanayas lived for generations without mixing their blood. Many hideous children were born were born for being incestuous, but the ones who were able to grow up became powerful. Okay? Right? Repeating that single blending was the reason they were able to solidly carry on their psychic abilities, which are supposed to be a mutational gene that lasts only for 1 generation. Yeah. To be fair, Aki has not his blood sister, so there's that at least. Even though it's still weird because they kind of raised together, so it's like but yeah, on top of that, the Nanayas polished their skills as assassins and learned a way to bring the psychics, who were normally on a suicide mission, home alive. Oh, that's good. As a result, we have the Nanaya clan with power outside the boundary of a human, and the human body trained to the limit. At that point, they were not considered a clan with psychic ability, but a clan which is specifically given the title of Demon Hunters. That was the only way for the Nanaya family, who were psychics discriminated against even more than the hybrids at times, to show their usefulness and live. Okay, so basically the Nanayas were OP, so people hated them, so they had to hunt demons and be like the best of the best to not be wiped out. Okay, got it. That's how the demon hunters possessed the Nanayas, as their absolute war power. So my green screen fell over on top of me. There we go. No, stay. Stay. That's how the demon hunt. Yeah. A long and boring time passed by after that. The Nanayas kept on being the greatest assassins. They knew better than anyone else that the moment they fall down from the top, the Nanaya bloodline will die out. Yeah. An echoing smooth sound. Within the few minutes after Kiri entered the mansion, he killed a 6th person. Nanaya Kiri specialized in indoor jobs. There are walls and there's a ceiling. Kiri's field of activity would expand to them, and he moved like a spider that captures its prey. His speed was not a spider's, but a beast's. If there was an observer, he would have marveled at how bizarre yet beautiful a human can move. 2 ahead. No, 3. Kiri confirmed his target through the wall. He had assassinated over 30 so far. They had all been relatives of a man called Psyche, the target, and each one of them had been a hybrid monster. The truth was that Nanaya Kiri was the weakest being among the people inside the mansion. No matter how much power he wielded as a demon hunter, the power of a single human was too little. There is no way he could win against a demon that links to the world and changes the environment. On top of that, Kiri's psychic ability was only auxiliary, the ability to see the flow of people's thoughts. It was too thin a thread to challenge a lair of monsters who could easily do things like reversing the temperature and freeze the opponent just by glaring at them. But Kiri only needed that thread. By stretching the thin thread around, changing the monster's lair into his own hunting ground, he killed his prey one by one. Of course, there couldn't be any murderous intentions or tensions. For the head of the Nanayas, this hunting ground was his daily routine. He took out another 3. The thing in Kiri's hand was only a steel drumstick. He liked to use this plain weapon, and he used it to thrust into the vital spots of a human. That was a savage way of killing, far from the superior assassination skill called the pressure point. With the point of the stick that is neither thin nor thick, he crushes the bones instead of the muscle. At times, he thrusts at the opponent's head from above and caused the head to be pushed into the body. I don't see how that would work. Okay, yeah, whatever. Like his name said, his weapon was more like a giant awl than a drumstick. It couldn't cut, but it could make holes. As a result, it was rare that he got stained with the blood of his enemy like this. Humph. Kiri shook off the blood by wielding the drumstick. There were only 2 more people in the mansion. He was planning to spill the smell of blood here to alarm his prey, but he ended up drilling a hole into one with extra high tension. Disgusting blood. It even smells nasty. The irritated assassin said to himself. Getting showered by blood, Nanaya Kiri stopped his footsteps for the first time. He didn't like blood, thinking that the sticky red color might bring down his precision. Oh yeah, that's what you're worried about. Oh yeah, okay. Then yeah, it makes sense. Oh man, all this blood everywhere. I might miss the next attack. Like what? Bruh. Nanaya Kiri found no pleasure in killing. It was just a job, I guess. He took this path just because he was born into the Nanaya family and was physically fitter than his siblings. Okay. He wasn't like his older brother who enjoyed killing, nor like his younger sister who was highly sensitive to demons and feared them. To say the least, he was the type of person who dedicates himself to one thing: how skillfully he could put a stop to a human body. You know, man, I think he has issues. I'm gonna put that out there. I think Kiri has some issues. That pursuit was a duty for those born in the Nanaya family, and Nanaya Kiri was just doing that single-mindedly. When he noticed there was no one who was better than him, and after he was chosen as the head, he just kept on killing the mixed beings every day for years. If you look back, that's all there was to his life. But Kiri never felt it as a burden. The only thing on his mind was how skillfully he could kill someone. That was the only meaning to his life, since he was born as an Anaya. The 8th guy went pretty good. I'll try that again when I get home. Yeah, you know what, Kiri? You do you, man. Out of the 30 people he had killed today, Kiri recalled the one he was able to kill the quickest. There was no enjoyment or pain. Nanaya Kiri lacked those emotions. Therefore, he was suited for being the head of the Nanayas. Not enjoying or fearing murder, but being able to concentrate on it is the natural talent of a killer. That killer suddenly felt something strange. A foreign object entered his view, which had been perceiving only 2 more people. There was a vermilion flow inside this mansion. Nanaya Kiri was able to perceive people's thoughts. Thoughts are waves, and most of them have a dull, transparent color, in which emotions can be lightly read by the speed of its flow. But there are some with their own color. Those are monsters that are too horrifying to be described as a human. As far as Kiri knew, there were a few in the Demon Hunter organization with a divine color of blue and silver. This was vermilion. No, if I approach its body, I'll probably perceive a clearer red. Kiri had never seen a thought that strong, a thought that wicked. I assume it's Makihisa, I would think, because Aki has a vermilion, her hair is vermilion anyway, when she's like Oni mode. So it'd stand to reason this would be like her dad, Maki, maybe. Without finishing to wipe the blood that still dripped from his hair, Nanaya Kiri started walking. Inside was a boy who looked barely 10 years old. The boy was wounded all over his body, and his hands and legs were chained. It was apparent that was alienated even among the hybrids, and Kiri saw what it was right away. But it had nothing to do with Kiri after all. If this boy was here to protect Kiri's target, only then he needed to kill him, but that wasn't even given such a job. For Nanaya Kiri, this boy was no different from a pebble on the road. Kiri's job was to ignore and walk past him. The sound of chains. The boy looked up and perceived Nanaya Kiri. That moment, Nanaya Kiri thrust his weapon into the boy's face. What? I guess it's not Makihisa then. Okay. I thought it was gonna be some weird, like, oh, the boy's, chained up, and maybe Kiri felt some sort of, like, compassion and freed him. But no, he stabby stab. Okay. He pulled out the drenched drumstick. The weapon crushed the boy's eye completely. Without even screaming, the boy's head dropped down. The dripping blood stained the tatami floor, and Kiri left the room. Well, that wasn't nice. That was the one and only personal murderous act done by the Master of Assassins. He found out the reason why at the end. That personal murderous intention destroyed his precise rationality for the first time. He must have been excited. The course of action of Nanaya Kiri took after that was so terrible that it suggests his vomiting. He barged into the room where Psyche, the target, and a man who was sent to keep an eye on him were. That wasn't like Nanaya Kiri. The reason he was able to come back alive after fighting against the hybrids was because of all of that was done by assassination. A barbarous act like this was suicide. And the hybrid called Psyche didn't hesitate to use all of his power against Nanaya Kiri, who was invading instead of sneaking in. No, let me make a correction. He didn't hesitate because his opponent was the murderer Nanaya Kiri. This man saw that from the closest place. This man was the eldest son of a hybrid family, and knew the head of the Psyche family. But unlike Psyche, he cooperated with the demon hunters. Because for him, his family's safety was a lot more important than the pride of his ancestors. And he secretly formed an alliance with the demon hunter organization, and worked under Psyche while he kept an eye on him and made reports. It was he who was reporting that Psyche ate human flesh and that there were more than 1,000 casualties. Originally, Psyche was the old type of hybrid full of dominance, and from the view of a hybrid who just wanted to live peacefully like this one, he was just an annoying old man. On top of that, if this old man who was a dictator died, the Psyche Group Corporation would have a hole in it. It was his ambition as a businessman to make use of it. That's how the man sold the Psyche bloodline, and the demon hunters who bought it sent an assassin called Nanayakiri. Oh god, so much dialogue. I know it's a visual novel, it's literally all dialogue, but there's no break. The man raised a pathetic voice and realized what a dangerous place he was in. He raised a voice like a broken doll, but that disappeared behind the consistently echoing smooth sounds. Be zu splash 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 splat. Is this what's called no questions asked? The man was looking at the evil demon with laughter. There was no other choice but to look. Just as if a storm ripped into the room, the assassin annihilated Psyche's body. When the Fusuma door opened and the assassin made an appearance, the man cursed. That was hopeless. Even if you prepare a dozen demon hunters, they won't be able to win head-on against Psyche, who completely awakened his demon blood. Just as he thought that this was all there was to the rumored head of the Nanayas, it happened. There was a wooden table in the traditional Japanese room. The assassin slid under it as he appeared. The man and Psyche were caught off guard. For one thing, this is a small table. What is he doing? The instant he thought that, Psyche was dragged under the table by his foot. Then this. There was no time for Psyche to scream. The moment he was dragged under the table, the head of the old man called Psyche rolled over the tatami floor. Yeah, so much for the fully awakened demon blood doing shit. like even with Carrie going full bore, not even being sneaky, it's like, yeah, no, I'm the best. Although he probably doesn't even think of it that way. To be fair, the body parts started flying everywhere. Under that table, in a space so small that barely one person fit into it, the terrible dissection took place. And then, drenched in blood all over his body, the assassin crawled out. Awkward. The Nanayakiri approached the man who can't help but laugh. The emotionless eyes gazed at him, who was also a hybrid. Yeah, maybe you should have spoke up and, told him that you were on the side of the demon hunters. Because, he's going to kill me. He's going to kill me for sure, he sensed. He pointed at the random assassin and laughed. Bro, are you good? The assassin, holding the weapons drenched in blood, stood in front of the man and pushed Psyche's head, rolling next to his foot. A heavy sound. While holding the skewered head, as if he got rid of an annoying fly. Shut up. He struck his other weapon into the heart of the man, who kept on laughing. Maybe if he wasn't laughing, he would have lived. Or wait. The reason the Nanayakiri missed the vital spot was, again, probably because he was terribly excited. Us good? The man who was laughing fell, and Kiri left the mansion without checking whether he was dead or alive. The man who had his chest struck survived. Introduction, development, what, huh? What? For some odd reason, I saw 4 dreams. A dream in which I went back to my childhood. A dream in which I became a child. A dream in which I thought of a child. Oh, and one more. Myself laughing terribly out of place, and myself in my childhood similarly laughing, together in a sunny garden. What? He was in a dark, traditional Japanese room. This was the space he was given since he was little, and this was the only space in which he was able to be free. He was only a small child, so he was satisfied with the size. He even remembered complaining that it was too big. He wasn't very comfortable being with the others in the first place, because his eyes were special, and it was an eye that seemed to look into the inner side of people. That's why he never learned words until he grew quite big. Probably because he was able to feel what people were thinking without talking. On top of that, the words that they used to communicate didn't really match their emotions. That's why he didn't learn words. He thought that it was useless to learn a method of communication that is so incoherent. You know, I guess if you could see like people's emotions and like flow of their thoughts, you'd always be pissed off that people are like bro, what you're saying is such bullshit. Like that's not what you think whatsoever. So yeah, no, I can see how that would feel. Like, speech in general would feel disingenuous to you, I guess. It was only natural. He was taught one thing in the beginning. A year passed after that. There wasn't really anyone who came to see him during that time. There was nothing else to do, so he repeated what he was taught, and that became boring, so he modified it to a way that was easier for him to do. And when he was taught the second thing, it was after he'd already learned it. Maybe not having a teacher was beneficial, and he was able to use his body without being restricted by common sense. Yeah, maybe. His talent had been discovered at that point. He knew that this was a way to kill people since he was born. He knew well that this family was that kind of family, and that he couldn't escape from that obligation. That's why the rest was really simple. He accepted that and kept on polishing his techniques. That was the only meaning of his existence. Anything else must have been bothersome for them. That's why he just kept on running. Without looking back, and without thinking of anything else, he aimed for somewhere. Even as a child, he thought that he was just going to think about how well he can kill someone all his life. But as a result, that was wrong. The boy was in a dark, traditional Japanese room, now colored in red. This was the space he was given since he was little. And this was, okay, only space he was able to be free. The boy was only a small child, so I think he was satisfied with the size. The boy glares at the empty space, as if he's complaining that it was too big. Okay, so this is someone else's point of view, I guess, now. The boy didn't understand people in the first place. Their behaviors, expressions, words. He didn't understand anything well. The boy thought he must not be a human, but a dog. There was a severe gap that if that wasn't it, he might have gone crazy. That gap wasn't solved until the boy met the same type of person as him. Everyone called him a demon child. They were a clan that continued to mix with a pure demon called an ogre in the first place. But once the boy who preserved the desired purity was born, the clan desperately tried to hide his existence. Okay. Even they, who were not normal, must have realized that he wasn't something that should be born. So the sins of their bloodline over several hundred years had finally taken shape in their generation. Those who were called the Kishima's those who were called the Kishimas finally realized they were taking the path to destruction when they got there. No doubt, that's where all the bloodlines of the hybrids end. They were just terribly slower than the others, or terribly earlier. The boy was never taught anything. No one talked to him in the first place, so there was no need to learn words, and there was never a need to tell others his thoughts either. The boy's vicious eyes pull out the inner side of people. Most of the people who met him were nothing but terrified. That's how the boy learned that people were like that. And since they only act like that, there was no need for him to learn words. It was only natural. The boy liked the forest and wished to be among the animals. They didn't allow that. Even if it was just out of formality, they couldn't let the successor of the family live in such a way. Oh, is the boy that Kiri stabbed? Is this that boy? And so the Kishima we see in Shiki's dream reality, like the more than anything, it must have been an embarrassment for them to have the next head of the family wishing to live like a beast. But the boy wasn't a fool like they were thinking, and he matured pretty fast. The boy knew how to seal his power early on, and as a matter of fact, he never opened his cage since he was born. That was like a fasting that began right when he was born. The boy just kept on suppressing his thirst, and the beast called himself. Normally, the bloodlust only happens after growing up as a human and finding something in need of protection. The inversion impulse that the boy's bloodline experiences destroys the person within a year, even the mind of an adult. The boy was withstanding that quietly. It should have been impossible for a child who does not know words and does not know what a family is. In other words, the boy was trying to protect his family without even knowing. Father, mother, siblings. He doesn't know how those things are related with himself. But he was suppressing himself to protect them. That's probably because he knew that someday, returning to soil peacefully after being forgotten like that was the right thing. But that didn't last long. The one who put an end to it was someone other than the boy. You were out of your mind since you were born. Receiving that curse, the boy was shot in the head with a bullet. Okay, no, it's not. Those words were true. The boy was different since he was born. That was why he was able to suppress the blood longer than them and didn't go crazy like them. And then, the boy who was out of his mind since he was born couldn't even die from such a thing. Or maybe it is if he didn't die from that. Yeah, it is. When the old man called Psyche brought his men, it was all over. The mansion burned down and the clan was slaughtered, leaving only one person. He didn't understand what a family was in the first place, so ending it must have been easy for him. That's how he was possessed. There was no regret, no remorse, no emotion, and no feelings. After all, that was a living being that can only exist that way from the beginning. Okay, so we're just swapping back and forth between Kiri and Kishima, I guess. And so he was in the old traditional Japanese room. He wanted and accepted this traditional room that was like a prison for him. He was sitting straight in the room that's too big for a child and looked absent-mindedly at the forest in the night. He was frightened every time he looked at you. It was probably because he didn't know your looks well enough. After you were born, he left the organization. There were many who opposed, but he shut them up by force. That was wrong, but I think there was no other way. He came back to the mansion where he spent his childhood, and as a result, you were locked within the dark forest. He wasn't thinking of making you go through the same life that he had. Even then, he taught you the minimum to protect yourself. And there was also a time when you were when you were playing, trying to copy him. But you weren't a person like him. I see. Okay, I see. And you were an unbelievably gentle child. When you said that you liked this place without anything, deep in the mountains, and said that you were going to live here all your life and pass away quietly, he was frightened again. He knew that the child's wish was his wish, and it was a wish that would never be fulfilled. So it went from Kiri to Kishima to Shiki? I'm assuming this is Shiki. So it was a wish that would never be fulfilled. Because he never talked much, you rarely spoke either. Even then, it was obvious to everyone that you loved him, who wasn't very good at expressing his feelings, and her, who was always sick in bed. Because you had an honest affection, everyone understood your mind without you having to put it into words. It was only natural that you didn't need words. Even then, he didn't take you out to the open until you were able to protect yourself. In the 6th winter, when this was soon to be settled. In the season waiting for in the season waiting for spring, he heard a disturbing rumor. They said a certain group of hybrids was after his clan, and yeah, that would be the Tonos, or Makihisa specifically. He wasn't surprised. For one thing, his clan killed so many under the name of the organization. After losing the protection from the organization, there should be many who'd want to take revenge against this clan. This was also only natural. Yeah, I suppose after murdering a bunch of people, you'd probably be a target. The change of scenery threw me off guard for a second. Hearing that his mansion was getting attacked soon, Nanaya Kiri laughed lightly. You idiot, this is no time to be laughing. And I assume this is the mom now, who we are... Yeah, no, I got that part. I just was waiting to process. And so yeah, so it was so what he taught or copied became a latent, because his memory was wiped, kind of became like a more of an impulse muscle memory type deal rather than him knowingly doing it, I suppose. Okay, I'm assuming this is the mother talking. So,
You idiot! This is no time to be laughing. There isn't much time. If you're going to do something about it, make it quick. Aren't you the head of a clan? You shouldn't be ending your bloodline in such a small disaster.
oh no, that's the doctor. God damn it. The doctor glared at Kiri. This is a man he knew from way back. Even after Kiri left the organization, he couldn't just forget about him and secretly told him about the assault. But Nanaya Kiri, the person in question, was just sitting there laughing. No, but thanks for the information. But what difference does escaping make? If they're going to attack us, I'd rather confront them in my own backyard. Reasonable. I don't intend on asking you for help, and moreover, this being the first hunting in a long while, Kiri sharpened his eyes. Ahem. Kiri, didn't you leave the organization to break away from that job? You knew that assassins were no longer needed anymore. Isn't that why you went out of your way and left? If that's the case, stop preaching. Why is it that I have to listen to your lectures when I just came in for treatment? Here, stop talking and start working, you quack. I got my shoulders busted working as a bodyguard when I haven't done so in a while. I don't understand. Someone is after you when you're supposed to have quit, but you're minding your own business and taking on a job as a bodyguard for Tozaki.
Am I supposed to recognize that name?
I feel like I should, but at the same time, it might just be because it sounds similar to Awazaki. No. Because you do odd things like that, there are fools who start seeing the Nanayas as problematic. How can I help it? How can I help it? We've known the Tozakis since the previous head. Besides, they actually got some money. It was a pretty good job. Humph. I thought you settled down after you had a child, but you haven't changed. I heard you were a fond father, but I'm starting to be suspicious. Okay, that's probably why it sounds familiar. If it's... yeah, okay. Because, yeah, I think they mentioned 3 or 4 branch families in Tsukihime, like, somewhat early on. So that's probably what I'm thinking of. Shut up. Forget that. Hurry up and finish it. Kiri didn't speak anymore, and the doctor treated him quietly. And suddenly, hey old man, the assassin once feared as the demon god raised a voice in an extremely calm tone. People's lives are very well made. Oh? What makes you say that? Nothing. I just felt that way. Muttering that, Kiri stopped talking. 6 years ago, as the head of the Nanayas, he had a child. In order to maintain the precision of being assassins, they made the generation transition early. By the time their physical ability started to decline, their child had already matured, and the name of Nanaya succeeded to the next generation. His elder brother and younger sister already had children, and they were receiving training as the potential successor. Compared to them, Kiri had a child quite late. The reason Kiri never had a child was because he simply didn't find the need to do so. He was just thinking of having his elder brother or younger sister's children be the successor. For Kiri, he only had an interest in how to kill people. A thing such as a child was totally beyond understanding. No, maybe Kiri already knew that he was a person who grew up but was still remaining a child. A person who concentrated in one thing shipping off everything needed as a human being. A person who was only looking at what he liked. An inexperienced... You know, I just had a thought. No. Okay, the wording... I looked back at the wording, so, you know, just forget about it. An inexperienced child who only knew about one thing. There was no way such a child could raise a son, and obviously he never even imagined it. In other words, a child was something excessive and not needed for Nanaya Kiri. That was before he saw his own son. Kiri was thinking he shouldn't feel anything. He never needed it to begin with, so his son had to be something just bothersome. Wow. That's why he was thinking of seeing him just once and leaving the rest to the woman. However, his world flipped over when he saw him. It was a transformation that felt like something fell right in its place. Or did the thing that was possessing him since he was born disappear? Either way, the instant Nanaya Kiri saw this living being, he made up his mind to quit his career as an assassin. He probably still doesn't carry such an emotion like loving his child, but he just felt that he needed to, and his lifestyle since that day completely changed. He was a man who only knew how to kill people in the first place, and now he was trying to make people live. This was literally a turning point in life. Yeah, going from assassin to bodyguard, is... I mean, yes. I guess I can't really put it any better than what he said. Literally turning point, like a complete 180. Kiri had said that people's lives are very well made. That was definitely true, and everything about the ways of making people live were new to him and difficult. Kiri, who was accustomed to killing, was no longer bored of his life for the past months and years. Can I ask you something? Did you quit because you loved your son? No way. I quit for myself. That's right. If a child is a duplicate copy of oneself, you didn't want to make him take the same path as you. I wanted to see if he's able to take a different path than me. I see. The doctor nodded his head. The treatment is over and Kiri turned his back. Alright, take care. If we ever meet again, I might ask for your help. The doctor doesn't answer. After Nanaya Kiri left, the doctor repeats his words. If he's able to take a different path, eh? I wonder if the man who said that it was for himself realizes that this emotion was in fact the love of a father. Probably not. You fool. Why did you have to develop a human emotion now? Everything was too late. Finding happiness as a human was a misfortune for that flawless killer. It's impossible for you. You'll never be able to attain it. Mumbling to himself, the doctor laughed with a sigh. The killer himself must know that more than anyone. That man has already accepted his end that will eventually come. Involving his clan, including his own son, he left the path of being an assassin. Being the head of the Nanayas, he must have known. The Nanayas were able to exist because they were able to be the greatest assassins. Hence, when they go down from the top, that's when the Nanaya clan dies out. Just that its arrival came 6 years slower. That was all there was to this story. Conclusion. And so the night came. So we're unable to make contact with the men below? Yes. Additionally, the Farseers have spotted 2 groups coming in from below. They number approximately 50. I'm afraid they must be Tono's private army. Considering their numbers, they probably intend on killing us all. Nanaya Kiri laughed delightedly. There was no feeling of anxiety. A situation where 50 armed men were closing in on this mansion. This place was deep in the mountains, and the landlord from the organization was already bought by their enemy. They were unable to seek help, and besides, there wouldn't be anyone who'd come to their aid. In this situation, Kiri was laughing. Of course, because he already knew this was coming. No, it would be more accurate to say that he was waiting for this. But the Tonos? I don't know such fellows. I wonder when we incurred their hatred. Do you know? No. The Tonos were never our targets. Besides, they're on good terms with the organization, so there shouldn't have been any instances where we did anything to them. Okay, so if there was no beef between them, then why? Why did Makihisa target them? I see. Then it must be some stupid reason. Ha. They're funny fellows to throw away their lives like that. You just made me realize with that, Kishima is an anagram of Makihisa. I just realized. Oh my god, that makes so much sense. But then, okay, interesting. They're funny fellows to throw away their lives like that. Master, are you telling me that you're going out to fight them? Oh, was the snitch next to Psyche? Oh. I was, okay, never mind. So it's just coincidence that they happen to be an anagram of each other, Makihisa and Kishima. Okay, well, actually no, because Kishima only has 1 A, whereas Makihisa has 2. So that would make sense. I mean, I guess you could delete an A when he, I don't know, or add an A. Yeah, I know it's the pointy and laughing guy. I don't know. Because I don't know. I still had Kishima in my head because of the we had the little scene with him and him being like a parallel of Kiri, so I was like, oh, he was yeah. But anyway, that makes more sense. Not I don't. Yeah, true. That's yeah. Are you telling me that you're going out to fight them? Of course. We need to stop trouble beforehand, or it may disturb our sleep. If the higher-ups are just going to watch this, it'll be better for us. No matter how many we kill, they'll clean up after our mess. But we won't be able to do that without casualties either. Our enemy aren't hybrids, but armed people. They're skillful and equipped like professional assassins. You're right. We won't be able to avoid bullets. Alright, I'll go on ahead and take care of the troublesome ones. I'll leave my older brother and the others in charge of disposing of the leftover meals. Okay. And so Kiri stood up. There was no need for a report on the enemy routes, since Kiri knew the terrain down to the individual trees. If he knew just the direction the enemies were approaching from and where they were headed to, he could naturally figure out their path. Master, what is it? What should we do with your son? If you order us to do so, we'll risk our lives to take him outside. Don't. You'll just be their target. If you have combat ability, have confidence in yourself. He's still a child who doesn't even have combat ability. So the ones who need to be prioritized are you guys.
But Shiki is a child.
Then let him sleep. Maybe that'll be the best way for him to survive. Laughing delightfully, Kiri left the room. I don't know if they would take pity on a sleeping child. Well, I mean, I guess they do. Well, no, because technically, when Makihisa finds him, it's in the forest. So... Nanaya Kiri went ahead to strike the assailants. Since Kiri had been assassinating on his own, working together as a group would just mess him up. Fair. Kiri ran through in the night, the forest that he knew everything about. There were 50 enemies. They were coming up the mountain equipped with heavy artillery. What idiots. Kiri swore as he slipped through the trees. If they were going to spend money, they should have just come from above. It was too unpractical to come up from below. Or were they seriously thinking that they could hide themselves in this mountain? Against the Nanaya forest filled with all kinds of traps. Yeah, I guess it's not very smart of them, huh? And then for a split second there was a dull sound. A sudden assault. Comrades who were dead before they knew it. Numerous traps appearing from underground. They fired their weapons, trying to resist whatever it was, and sounds and lights continued to spark. In the confusion, they decreased in number one by one. Huh? The line of command must have been disrupted. Moving disorganized, they shouted out. Even then, they were skilled individuals, and they escaped using their own judgment. And silence. The only things remaining in the forest were dead bodies. There are many kinds. A dead body crushed by a collapsed tree. A dead body that was shot by his comrade. A dead body whose neck was twisted off from behind. A dead body which was skewered through his brain to his neck, and so on. After verifying where all the assailants escaped off to, Kiri started moving again. There were slightly more than 10 enemies left in this area. A number that Kiri could take out without taking too long. After finishing the last one, Kiri stopped. There were two options. He could go kill the other assailants, or he could keep on going down and kill their enemy leader, most likely waiting and seeing how things will turn out from below. The assailants should be already surrounding the mansion from all four sides. There isn't much meaning to killing them one by one. Just when he thought of killing the enemy leader and leaving the other assailants to the ones in the mansion, Nanaya Kiri encountered the one other attacker that newly appeared. He was a young man with a single eye. So did Makihisa recruit Kishima? Or did Kishima just happen to show up? Seemingly not carrying any firearms or weapons, he appeared by himself slowly from behind the shadows of the trees. Kiri's heart pounds rapidly. The face of the man who never even lifted his eyebrows in any kind of assassination froze when he saw that young man. Without thinking twice, he made an escape. As he was doing that, he triggered all the traps set up in the area. Flying blades, collapsing trees, masses of spears shooting up from the ground. The forest shook, and after no more than a second, the place that Kiri was standing was wrecked without leaving a trace. But there was no need to do that, because the assailant wouldn't be hurt from such things in the first place. "Are you Nanaya Kiri?" the young man asked, appearing from the collapsed forest as if nothing happened.
Maybe.
Kiri glared at him without answering. The vermilion color flowed sharper than back then. The young man was a member of a clan called Kishima, mixing with a non-human race called the Ogres, the descendants of the ones who mixed not only the blood but the flesh as well. A clan that only wanted for the power of destruction. You can say they were the Nanayas of the demon hybrids. But he had heard the bloodline of the Kishimas which always produced those who lose their mind died out a few years ago.
Yeah, no.
I mean, almost, but no. They weren't destroyed by others, but was killed by one who lost his mind, produced by themselves. The one who lost his mind. I heard his name was Kishima Koma. He was barely 10 when he destroyed all of the Kishimas, the clan of demons, awakening the inhuman blood within himself. The one who turned himself into a demon while still being a human. In an old legend, it was called Kurenai Sekishu. Hey kid, have we met before? Oh, trying to play dumb now. Okay, that's kind of pathetic. Like, he clearly recognized him. Like, the vermilion is sharper than it was back then, so he obviously recognizes that this is the child from before. But he's like, hey, have we met? You know, like, okay, bro. Oh my god. Kiri took a deep stance and made Koma come into his range. The young man called Koma didn't answer and just raised his arm. That moment, the battle began. Kiri was forestalled. In one step, he jumped under his opponent's guard and crushed his neck before he realizes he got hit. That move he believed would have no equal got literally smashed into pieces by a single blow of the enemy. Kishima Koma jumped in first before Nanaya Kiri took his step. Raising a wind noise, he stood in front of Kiri and thrust out his fringed arm. Although surprised, he dodged that and pierced the elbow of the arm that was poorly extended. That was supposed to have made Koma's arm useless. It didn't though. But Koma's body didn't have a scratch. Kiri instantly understood that his enemy's body was as hard as steel and jumped back to open a distance. The demonic hand of the one-eyed chases after him. Kiri was backed up against a large tree. He lured Koma's thrusting arm and dodged it by a hairline. Koma's arm didn't stop and struck the large tree. I got him, thought Kiri. However, he decided to pull back. Kiri prioritized his decision. In order to open a distance to Koma, who was supposed to be wide open, Kiri turned his body into a spring. That instant, the large tree that Kishima Koma had struck collapsed. Huh? Many things occurred for the first time tonight. Kiri raised a voice during a battle for the first time. But that couldn't be helped. The large tree was almost a meter thick, and there was no way it could have fallen down from just a punch of a person. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder why it happened then. And yet he knocked it down. So yeah, basically, bullet point, don't get hit. Furthermore, it wasn't by the impact of the hit, but this man crushed the... okay. He crushed the large tree in his hand. His grip strength wasn't of a dimension that could be just called strong. Yeah. The single eye beamed across. It captured Kiri, who was trying to escape. Ha! Kiri laughed. He didn't laugh at the result of his own assassination skills until now, but for the first time, he laughed thinking of the battle that was about to take place. Okay. It was a fabulous time. No matter what he did, he wasn't able to hurt the boy, and the only thing he could do was to run around. All the traps set in the forest had no effect, and Kiri's weapon couldn't even scratch him. There was no chance for him to win. There was no chance for him to go home alive. But it was a fabulous time. Yeah, I guess fighting for your life, pumps the adrenaline, the dopamine, At least Kiri felt that way. Kishima Koma was charging at him. That was just a charge. He was surprised by the speed at first, but it was nothing after he got used to it. At any rate, this man didn't know any skills of assassination. His charge like a gust of wind, his arm that thrusts like the sickle of the god of death, his body of steel that repels all kinds of weapons. He was just born with all of these things. The young man called Kishima Koma never did anything that could be considered as training. That was such a simple and primitive form of destruction with nothing extra. Ha! Ha! Kiri couldn't stop laughing. A demonic arm that could destroy him just by touching flew right in front of his eyes. Dodging that to the left by a hair's breadth, he thrust his weapon at his enemy's unguarded left side of the neck. Of course, that had no effect. Why did the background music stop? Like this scene could really use a bit of music. He had been repeating it dozens of times, but Koma's neck wasn't hurt. Kiri was laughing at himself in his mind. You can't even kill one person after all this, and you call yourself the greatest assassin? But there was no need for an embarrassment. If it had been against a normal person, the precise blows would have certainly killed him 40 times over. Without missing a single millimeter, dodging the demonic hand of instant death, he keeps on hitting the same spot. How could anyone else but Nanaya Kiri do such a thing that could even be considered an illness? After several collapses of trees, when Kiri saw Koma's arm crushing the trunk in his hand, he thought, if Nanaya Kiri was a demon god who pursued killing, Kishima Koma must be a demon god who was a master of destroying. Their powers were similar but different. It's probably wrong to compare them, but Kiri knew that he was inferior to him. The only one who can fight against this demon god equally is one who is a similar master of death. Oh, like, someone who can see literal death? After all, Nanaya Kiri, who pursued death, who never had it from the beginning, couldn't get up to that level. If there was anything who could fight with him equally, then it would be just like this demon god, a thing that was born broken. But Shiki wasn't born broken though, right? I guess when you say when Tono Shiki was born, as in like when Makihisa wiped his memories and he became a new person essentially, I guess you could say he broke then. I think that was born broken. However, for this reason, because it was Nanaya Kiri who wasn't born with death, there was a horizon that could be reached. After several demonic hands of Koma, Kishima Koma's expression didn't change one bit. That was because he was an uninterested killer, just like Nanaya Kiri in the past. A killer who did not fear his own death nor his target, but just concentrated on his own activities. We both were losing out, weren't we, kid? Kiri thought, and killing his laughter, he prepared for the final blow. I was really losing out. I never knew that a battle was something so awful. A fear that flips over your heart. Uncertain if your blow will be able to defeat your opponent. The mind turning white and everything becoming meaningless. I feel like throwing up, and it's difficult to kill my laughter. I was really losing out. There's a problem with its shape, but this is such a simple struggle for life. Then, there could be no other moment that I would feel so alive. The flying demonic arm. Again, dodging by a hair's breadth, Kiri rolled over to the right side. A change occurred in Kishima Koma's single eye. Similarly, Nanaya Kiri himself, for the first time, felt his own death. Because Nanaya Kiri kept on dodging to the left side, Kishima Koma couldn't follow his target that slipped to the right side. In addition, this is an absolute blind spot for him who is his right eye crushed. The flying weapon. With all of his strength, Kiri strikes his weapon into Koma's neck. Not to the left side of the neck that he had kept on striking, but to the right side. Precisely, just like the left side, to the location where it's beautifully symmetrical. The reason he poked the child's eye the moment he saw him. This is the reason. He, at the time, sensed that he wouldn't be able to defeat the monster called Kishima Koma, and just this once in his life, he prepared a chance to win out of a personal emotion. Then why didn't you crush both eyes? That would have made it like bop bop. Like that. Okay. I get plot reasons, I guess. In the distant future, if there were a time when he had to fight this monster, he'd be able to end it with this one blow. You bastard. The dry and dead voice of Koma. Damn. Kiri was the one who cursed. The laughter that he was suppressing subsided. His weapon was embedded into the neck about 1 centimeter deep. The impact should have penetrated to the left side of the neck for sure. Then the accumulated damage should have broken Kishima Koma's neck. What are you? Then why was Kishima Koma raising his voice? Kiri was knocked over into a tree. Yeah, but I'm just saying, from the perspective of Kiri in the past, right? It would have made more sense, if he wanted a chance to win, for him to have poked out both eyes at that time. Yeah, and in this moment, he's like, damn, this is fun as fuck. But I'm just saying, from the perspective of in the past, when he was just concerned about winning, it would have made more sense. Kiri was knocked over into a tree. Koma snatched his body and just threw him. Nanaya Kiri's stomach area was crushed in that instant, and his remaining upper body slides down the trunk. The next moment, Kishima Koma ran to the tree and Nanaya Kiri's face was smashed instantly. If If there was a reason the Nayakiri lost, then it must have been his life itself. The Nayakiri was an assassin, not a murderer. That's why he only poked the eye out at the time. Oh, okay. Even if he sensed that it would eventually become a powerful threat, he wouldn't kill a child. That was the most simple reason why Kishimakoma lived and a Nayakiri died. Kishimakoma felt his neck slowly. There was a dull pain. Koma didn't know. He grew up without knowing what pain was. That's why he didn't know that if this pain would be a little stronger, his neck would have fallen off. His heart pounded rapidly. An unknown order ran through his body. His fingertips shook, and his eyes couldn't focus. He breathed consciously for the first time, and looked down at the dead body in front of him. Another heartbeat. His body felt hot, like it was part of another person. It feels like a dream, Koma thought. But that's not it. He finally woke up from a dream. 6 years ago. Just like the Nayakiri who hurt the child who might kill him out of his own will for the first time, and lost his sanity. It was just that the cluttered mist on himself, where everything felt empty and meaningless, came off. But he couldn't understand what it was. He couldn't stand it when he thought of the mist returning, and he would return to his empty self again if he did nothing. It's hot, but it's a pleasant heat. That's what it means to live and to breathe. It was after he killed this man that he felt it. That's why he thought that if he repeated it, this heat would continue. A voice leaked out from the monster's mouth. The monster started walking in the Nanaya forest. He was losing his mind. I thought you already lost your mind. I thought that would... Okay. Their scream sounded like reed cropping. The moon was in the distance. The forest was quiet. I started walking into the empty darkness. I met a demon in the black field. The ground was burnt and the grass field had turned into a wild land. That wild land was vermilion colored, as if it was stuffed with strawberries and red colored like blood. There was a vermilion colored demon standing there. It was hazy like a mirage, so it wasn't so scary. When I vacantly looked up to it, it looked like it was laughing. But maybe it didn't know how to laugh, and it didn't look too happy. Are you in Nanaya? It said okay. It said laughing. I nodded yes, and asked if it knew where my dad was. The demon smiled even more. You'll eventually see him. As he said that, sharpening his red eyes, he disappeared as if he was eaten by the bush. Someone is calling me in the distance. It's scary to be alone, so I need to go deeper into the forest. On the other side of the curtain of trees, there are noises like a festival. I don't think it's a festival going on over there. I'm just, a feeling. The Nayashiki walks deeper into the forest. This, the end of the story. It's an old story that no one knows about anymore, so there isn't anyone who knows how it ended either. If there is anyone, it's probably only that. A blue moon in the sky. The story begins here. Oh, okay. So that basically that was just the entire prologue to the build-up of the start of Tsukihime. So that was good. That answered a lot of... Because I remember when I was playing Tsukihime, I was very frustrated at the lack of, like, depth the prologue was given. Like, it was, like, sort of kind of touched on, but not really. Like, we basically knew nothing about it. It's strange that they waited to put out, like, a plus, fan plus disc to expand upon the prologue. But I guess maybe they were planning to expand upon it in Tsukihime 2. And then when they realized Tsukihime 2 probably wasn't going to happen, they were like, okay, well, we got to do something with this. So I guess they put it in here. So yeah, okay. Interesting. Time and daily message, whether it be love or morals, duck mongoose looks cool, doesn't it? What the heck is a duck mongoose? Duck mongoose. Alright, there's literally nothing. Okay, whatever. Alright, I'm gonna end there though. I had intended it to only be on for like an hour and a half. It's over 2 hours now, so I'm how did I mean, I guess Kishin was a literal demon in human form, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised that he was able to get into Shiki's dream. But that's interesting. It doesn't need to be more complex. That prologue only matters if we're successful enough for sequels. Yeah, fair. Fair enough. But yeah, no, I'd I got nothing, to be honest. That's insight into Shiki's Nanaya background and details on who our enemy actually is. And then that's it. So yeah, I'm gonna end it off there. Thanks for hanging out, Meridak. And yeah, so I assume... Oh, okay, so he's imprinted as Shiki's vision of death. Okay, okay, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And so I assume Crimson Moon is the one that's, because someone told me when I was finishing up Tsukihime that, or Aki's route of Tsukihime, that is, that this game would give details behind what happened in the true ending of Akiha's route. So I assume that's either Crimson Moon or... Yeah, probably Crimson Moon, I would think. But... So yeah, I don't know. But if that one was the only one that was really necessary for the story, I'll probably put all these others off till afterwards. Oh, that one's a story for the evening? Oh, okay. But yeah, once I finish the like main storyline, I'll go through all of these and check them out. Cause yeah, that's the end of Akiha's route. That's literally the one thing I want to know is like what happened to Shiki after that. But yeah, okay. I've been rambling for a bit too long. Again, thanks for hanging out, and yeah, I'll catch you later. Peace.